It's time for us to head to the Southern Mallee Giants report, and what a giant of a weekend it was last weekend. A loss to the seniors against a very good side at Beulah, and joining us is Sammy White. G'day, Sam. How are you?
Yeah, it's going well for you, man.
Good to hear. And did you get some of that rain through you fellas there at Hopeton?
Yeah, we did actually. A few smiles on the farmers' faces yesterday. I think most people got around 8 mil, so yeah, good way to end the week.
Really isn't a good way to end the week. It'd be to win on the footy field at Nhill. We'll get to that in a moment. But last week, you came at them in the third quarter, but Ararat, the top side at the moment, 14-11, 95 to 9-10, 64. You only got the one goal in that last quarter. Was it just running out of legs, or was it running out of scoring opportunities, or was it just the depth issues that you need your best side out to beat the best side in the comp?
Yeah, probably all of those. I thought we put up a really good fight the first three quarters. Unfortunately, we had a few people go down throughout the last and in the third, which sort of made it, a bit hard to get home in the end. But still a few positives come out of it. Like we didn't have our full team in, and we matched them for the first three quarters, which is really good. And unfortunately, they just ran over us in the last. So I'd say Ararat are probably the benchmark so far. And yeah, that's where we've got to get to.
Yeah, they're really good. Ben Taylor's got some real talent down there, and Tom Williamson, both good players. And Tom Mills, one of their leaders, 4-3 and 2 goals to those players. On your side of the ledger, Rupert Sangster bobbed up with 4, but I think he might have also bobbed up with an injury.
Yeah, Sanger had a great game. He was running through the midfield and up forward, and he had on the string the first three quarters. And unfortunately, about halfway through the third, he was running through to get a clearance. He got it, took off, and unfortunately the string let go. So he was frustrated because he's been putting together a really good season, but unfortunately he'll have to have a few weeks out.
No, poor luck for him. Zach Robbins has been a revelation going forward with a couple again, and Ben Webster needing to really stand up this week. Coleman Shack, Best, Jake Garvey, Heath Smith really going well in the Giants' colours. Sammy White, of course, we know how good he is. Rupert Sangster and Zach Robbins in the better players. In the reserves, and the reserve grade boys are going to have some their work cut out this week when we get to that match. But last week it was a pretty hard game. Ararat 24-13. The Giants 2 points. They didn't get a goal. I mean, there's just one goal in mind in a footy match, isn't there, Sammy?
Yeah, it doesn't look real great for the Rezzies there. I feel a bit sorry for them when the seniors have a few injuries and the Rezzies start losing their better players. It makes it difficult. So unfortunately, the seniors, we've got 5 or 6 out at the moment, and then they've got to come from somewhere. And unfortunately, the Rezzies sort of cop the brunt of that. But look, they still tried hard all day. I think Ararat also, they're probably the benchmark of that grade too. So they're a really strong team, and unfortunately our boys just weren't quite up to it.
Yeah, just the depth is the key here. Cooper Morris, good. Ethan Munro, good to see him back. And Blake Smith. Matty Bellinger could be a senior call-up this week, I'd reckon. Mark Williams and Tristan Blair did their best. And 6 goals to Corey Taylor for Ararat on the day. We go down to the 14 boys, and the 14 boys come up against the Rats. We know that traditionally the Rats have been the benchmark of junior football at this age group. They kicked 8-10-58. Southern Mallee Giants 6-3-39. The boys weren't too far off the pace. They led this game early, and maybe the Giants can consider that they're a little unlucky, just need to get that final quarter together.
Yeah, the score probably doesn't actually reflect the game for them, man. They the boys had a ripping crack at it, and definitely had a chance to win towards the end there. There was a couple of opportunities late, sort of throughout the fourth and the third that they just couldn't quite get, which would have put them up, but. Yeah, Ararat sort of run away in the end, but the score probably didn't really reflect the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is one of the best players lists I'd love to read. Charlie Williams, Colt Decker, Dylan Cook, Spencer Williams, Kobe Hallam and Kobe Hallam. The 2 Kobe's, one after the other. One spelt with a Y and one spelt with an E. And they're distant relations. Apart from that, I've finally got the 2 Kobe Hallams together.
Yeah, no, they're both putting together a good season, the 2 Kobe's, so good to see.
Great stuff. Kobe Hallam-booted couple, that's with an E, and Parker with a couple, and Dylan Cook and Charlie Williams got scores. So it's good stuff. And I'm just looking at the premiership ladder here for that age group, just for the kind of, I guess, to get a bit of a feel at this. And Ararat fifth on the ladder. The Giants are sixth. So this is the sort of the closeness of the comp. They're not far away from the potential of playing in finals football if they can jag one of these wins against the side above them.
Yeah, exactly right. They are. Jacko Moore was out last week too, so get him back, and you never know what will happen with the boys. Hopefully they keep pushing hard and be on the brink of finals.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great to see? All right. This week, it's on the road we go, and it's going to be an important round of matches, round 7, and you go over to Nhill. Last year, corresponding game. They had a bloke called Dale Thomas that turned up, and Nhill got the points. You had a lot of injuries. This year, you have 8 players out of your senior list, if you don't mind, and you're going over for a corresponding game. I'll tell you what, the coaching staff could have probably put all the names at training in the blender, and they'll just see what result they get come out.
Yeah, it'd be like that, man. Throw them up, chuck them in the Thermomix. But it is. It's a bit of deja vu, really. We were a bit depleted last year, and going over there, the Nhill crowd were right up and about for days here. But see how we go. We've still got a really good team on the park. We've been training hard, and the ones we've called up, they know what role they've got to play. So we'll go over there and see how we go.
You need to, and need to get first use to the ball. Garvey, obviously, you've still got Lou White in there in the middle, and Marnie's still around. Yourself around cross half back. Sam Waddell is there. Some of the kids you're bringing through are really good runners like Deck Brown. I think you can actually match it with Nhill, and I think you can get the points. But gee, it's going to test your depth. That is for sure. I was looking at this and thought, poor old twos. If you've got 8 of your best out in the ones, it means that there's 8 players that could be necessarily down in the twos, for instance, and that would mean that they're going to have a tough outing against Nhill.
It's always hard when you start having injuries. Like I said earlier in the year, that game against Minyip, there was a couple of people missing out in the twos, and I said this probably won't happen again. We're sort of generally what happens when you go throughout the year. You're always going to have injuries, so it's something you expect. But unfortunately, the twos sort of cop the brunt when it comes to injuries in your senior team. That they're still turned up at training. They're still got a positive attitude in that, and I'm sure when we play our best, they can definitely beat anyone. So they're not looking to. You can't really control the injuries, man. So try and just focus on what you can control.
Absolutely, and the twos have got some really good players still, and some of those kids that have come through, the Tristan Glairs of the world, are getting in the better players every week, and obviously losing Mara and so forth, Bellinger up into the senior side is making it a lot harder for those boys. Under 14s, this week they get Nhill, who are below them on the table. It's don't drop this match, fellas. You get a win out of this one.
Yes, big game for the 14s. Been pulling a good crowd, the 14s. Everyone's been getting over there nice and early and cheering them on. They've been good to watch this year. So hopefully everyone get over there and support them. And hopefully, like you said, get a win, get back on the winners list, and keep pushing towards that finals campaign.
Yeah, I guess if they win the game, Minyip Matoa in the other match will be coming up against Ararat. So that could be really interesting for Ararat if they can win that. Minyip Matoa is lower on the table, so it may be they still won't be in the top 5 with a win. But they need to get plenty out of these kids. Is plenty turning up to training on Wednesday night for the kids at the moment?
Yeah, still great turnout. All the boys are still really up and about and positive for the year. So, Lewins are running a really steady ship on a Wednesday night, and there's been getting plenty of numbers, which is great to see.
Excellent stuff. All right, I'll tell you what. As I say, the coach has got a big blending opportunity to do. Who does he blend with who? And as you say, maybe that Thermomix. There it goes. There's the sound of a Thermomix here on the flow. I just reckon that it could be something that Sammy, you might be looking as a shopping spree on one of those, maybe.
Oh, I'm getting pressured in by the missus a bit. One, but unfortunately, I don't have a spare 20 grand up my sleeve like Cole. So, yeah, might be saving it up for another few years, I think.
It's a blender that's going to be needed to get to the Southern Mallee Giants over the line with a big match of footy against Nhill this weekend. And Sammy White, great to have you on board. You have a good weekend.
Thanks, man.